lecture. Now, before I proceed, I would like to make a humble request to each and every one of you to kindly keep your mobile phone on silent mode, or you can keep it on airplane mode so that we do not have any kind of interruption during the ongoing lecture session. Thank you. Well, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this special lecture organized by Tibet House, the cultural center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi. We have gathered here today to listen to and to reflect upon the theme, Buddhist Heritage of Telangana, takeaways for the younger generation. This lecture will not only highlight the rich Buddhist heritage sites spread across the length and breadth of the region, but will also emphasize on how the topography and the natural features of Telangana have been thoughtfully integrated into its Buddhist cultural landscape. These elements stand as a profound manifestation of Buddhist philosophy and its teaching. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker for her generous efforts in connecting the audience with these significant heritage sites, and for a strong motivation to inspire the younger generation especially to take a keen interest in the art and architecture of Buddhist heritage. This invaluable legacy indeed stands as a priceless gem in the rich historical and cultural fabric of our history. Thank you very much, Mrs. Madhuwadriji. And I would also like to thank our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji, who is the head of the conservation unit, Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, IGNCA, New Delhi, for graciously accepting this invitation to chair this lecture session. And last but not least, I would also like to thank our participants for your curiosity and reverence towards our art and architecture and being a part of this wonderful symposium. Let me also invite you to commemorate the 90th birth anniversary of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and celebrate the Year of Compassion in parallel to this lecture. And I would also request my dear participants to welcome on stage our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji, and our esteemed guest speaker, Mrs. Madhuwadriji, who is a conservation architecture, an educator, an author, an expert on cultural tourism and heritage education, volunteering with leading international forums, WMF, UNESCO, with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I now take this very opportunity to invite our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji, our guest speaker, Mrs. Madhuwadriji, and our secretary, Mr. Tenzin Kunjabla, to kindly proceed with the lighting of the ceremonial lamp and offer homage to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the holy Bodhisattvas, invoking blessings of peace and harmony before taking their places on the dais. Thank you. Now I would like to invite our secretary, Mr. Tenzin Kunjabla, to kindly offer the white scarf and the souvenir, thanka, to our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji, and our esteemed guest speaker, Mrs. Madhuwadriji, for graciously accepting this invitation and as a token of our small appreciation and gratitude. First, we have our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji. Please welcome our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandyaji. And then we have our guest speaker, Mrs. Madhuwadriji. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tenzing. Now, before we begin this lecture session, I would like to briefly introduce you all about Tibet House and its various programs and activities. Tibet House, New Delhi was established in the year 1965 by His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama for the purpose of preserving the cultural heritage at the time when it faced forceful challenges in Tibet, as well as for providing a center for Tibetan culture and Buddhist studies. Tibet House aims to bring together Buddhist masters, Tibetologists, scholars from various disciplines, students, practitioners, and the general public through its diverse programs and events. It continues to broaden its effort in preserving Tibet's heritage while exploring meaningful contribution to the ethical development of the modern society. Over the past 5 decades, Tibet House has emerged as a prominent institution for the dissemination of Tibetan culture and the promotion of Nalanda Buddhist studies. Tibet House is a 5-story cultural center housing a museum of Tibetan art and artifacts. A library with nearly 5,000 manuscripts and books, a resource center, a conference hall, a gallery, and a bookshop. It offers a wide range of study programs on Nalanda Buddhist philosophy, along with interdisciplinary conferences on subjects such as neuroscience and Buddhist psychology, quantum physics, spiritual ecology, and universal ethics. Its publication unit produces several books each year, and its program division regularly hosts lectures, seminars, conferences, film screenings, and exhibitions. Tibet House currently offers 4 structured courses in Buddhist philosophy and psychology, along with a comprehensive Tibetan language course. The Nalanda Master's Course, Nalanda Diploma Course, Nalanda Certificate Course, and Nalanda Introductory Course NIC2. With the successful completion of the NDC 5 Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 5 on 7 December 2025, I am very pleased to inform you all that the new registration for the Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 6 will begin on 8 February 2026 with 100% scholarship for monastics and 75% for students, and the course will commence on 15th March 2026 with 5 different translations available in Russian, French, Ladakhi, Hebrew, and Mandarin. Now, for more information, please feel free to reach us via email or visit our website www.tibethouse.in. Also, kindly note that the information for the Nalanda courses on the website is for the current ongoing courses and will be updating soon. Now, the Tibetan language course offered in 4 levels at a nominal fee has completed 29 batches. The 29 batch has 161 registered participants with 70 formally enrolled. Additionally, the Nalanda Dharma Studies classes held twice weekly continue to support Tibetan and non-Tibetan students worldwide in building a systematic foundation in Buddhist philosophy. On 2nd June 2023, nearly 500 students from the master's and diploma programs received a special audience and blessings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who also bestowed the oral transmission of J. Rinpoche's In Praise of Dependent Arising. Over 4,000 students from 98 different countries are currently enrolled in Tibet House academic programs. I'm also very happy to share this information as recently on 16th January 2026, His Holiness the Dalai Lama granted an audience to 237 Nalanda course students of Tibet House from 26 countries at the Assembly Hall of Depung Gomang Monastery in Mungut Tibetan settlement in Karnataka. The students were attending the Wisdom of Emptiness Study Retreat, which is conducted by Venerable Geshe Dorje Damdula, the director of Tibet House, the cultural center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi. During this audience, His Holiness addressed the students, offering profound guidance and encouragement for the continued study and practice of the Nalanda tradition. Now, these are the Tibet House publications which we have. The first one is the three eye-opening and well-known commentaries on Mulya Madhyama Curricula, Part 1 and Part 2, which is in Tibetan. And then we have a study of the rock art and inscriptions of Alchi Ladakh. Third, we have how the middle view held by all Tibetan Buddhist schools converge into one. Tracing the footprints of Je Tsongkhapa. And last, we have the philosophy of ultimate reality and its practice. Now, without any further ado, I would like to invite our Secretary, Mr. Tenzin Kujibla, to kindly give a welcome address before we begin this special lecture on Buddhist Heritage of Telangana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Tashidilek and good evening, everyone. Respected Chairperson Dr. Achal Pandyaji, distinguished speaker Mrs. Madhu Wadriji, respected scholars, students, and dear friends. On behalf of Tibet House, New Delhi, and our director, Venerable Geshe Tojtandullah, it gives me a great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to today's special lecture titled as Buddhist Heritage of Telangana, Takeaways for the Younger Generations. I will only take 2 minutes as I know we are all here to hear from Mrs. Madhuji. Tibet House has always endeavored to preserve the deeper understanding of Buddhist philosophy, culture, art, and heritage, and today's lecture beautifully aligns with this vision. The Buddhist heritage of India is not merely only a treasure of the past, but also a living source of inspiration for the present and future generations. Exploring how philosophy, art, architecture, and local culture came together in shaping these landscapes is especially relevant for young minds today. We are honored and enthused to have Mrs. Madhuji with us, a distinguished conservation architect, educator, author, and heritage expert whose extensive work in cultural tourism and heritage education has made significant contributions at the national and international levels. I was able to catch a glimpse of her work when we met today at Tibet House, and I very much look forward to your full lecture. We are equally honored to have Dr. Achal Pandyaji, the head of conservation unit at IGNCA, as chairperson for today's lecture. Your experience in heritage conservation and cultural studies adds immense value to this academic engagement, and we are very grateful for your presence, sir. We hope that this lecture will inspire thoughtful reflection on the relevance of not just the Buddhist heritage, but any cultural heritage in today's world, and encourage greater awareness, protection, and appreciation to these valuable sites among the younger generations. Once again, I welcome you all, and I wish you all a meaningful session. Thank you.
Thank you. Begin the special lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you all that we are going to present a short introductory video on the destination of enlightenment and happiness, Buddhavanam in Nalgonda district, Telangana, which is very much related to this very special lecture, Buddhist Heritage of Telangana, and the takeaways for the younger generation, so that it will give you a brief information about what we are here for. Thank you. sharing this wonderful video presentation on the Buddhist heritage from Telangana. And it is my sincere appreciation and my courtesy for a generous effort, ma'am. Thank you. Now, before I hand over the session to our chairperson, Dr. Achal Pandya ji, I would like to give you a very short introduction about him. Dr. Achal Pandya ji is presently specialized in conservation since 2022. He holds a doctorate degree from the National Museum Institute, New Delhi, where he taught in post-graduation conservation program before joining the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts as associate professor and head of conservation division in 2009. At the IGNCA, he has established a conservation laboratory and coordinates a postgraduate diploma in preventive conservation and applied museology. He was vice chairman of International Committee of Conservation and Applied Museology and the Committee for Conservation, ICOM CC, from 2017 to 2020, and the member of the Directory Board of the ICOM CC from 2014 to 2017. Dr. Achal ji was also nominated as Fellow of Directory Board of the International Institute of Conservation of Historic and Artistic Work, IIC, in the year 2016. He has extensively contributed research papers in national and international journals. Many books are written by Dr. Achal Pandya ji on the subjects related to art, history, conservation, and museology. Ladies and gentlemen, I request all of you to kindly welcome Dr. Achal Pandya ji, who is the chairperson for this lecture session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I will start with my sincere respect to His Holiness, and I'm really grateful to Tibet House for organizing this special lecture on Buddhist heritage of Telangana. Takes away for younger generation by none other than Mrs. Madhu Vatriji. I'm really thankful to the director, Venerable Geshe Dorji ji, for really considering me to chair this session, and also Kunkamp ji, the secretary of the Tibet House, for really giving me this opportunity to be here. Before we start the lecture by Madhu Vatriji, I would like you to know little bit more about Madhu Vatriji. I know there are many people who are from the same field, maybe knowing her, but there are others who do not know her. For them, I would like to introduce her. Mrs. Madhu Vatriji is a practicing conservation architect. She has done her architecture studies from School of Planning and Architecture, and she is now based in Hyderabad. She has received numerous awards from the government of Andhra Pradesh, Tourism Board, and State Level Monitoring Committee. In fact, Telangana came into being in 2014, so that's why most of her work is with Andhra Pradesh. Sorry. And now, after 2014, she is involved with Telangana government also. She has been felicitated by Reach Foundation's Heritage Award 2019 for a role in creating awareness about the heritage and culture of Telangana. The best thing about Madhu Vatriji is that she really simplifies the conservation education. So simplifying does not mean it doesn't mean that she doesn't talk of the details and all. The thing is that things which are very, very difficult, she tries to make them in a presentable manner which can even be understood by children. So she is quite popular. She's an art educator, in fact. She teaches about art education and all. Besides, she has been designing heritage walks. She has been involved in heritage studies for the government of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So her profile is like quite vast in that sense, And in conservation, we always say why we conserve an art object or a building. I'll just give you an example of Taj Mahal. When Taj Mahal is in front of us, as it is now, when we stand in front of us, we think about or we appreciate the architecture of the Taj Mahal because it is in front of us. It is conserved. It is conserved as it was built. There might be minor deteriorations. So there is a message which is coming out of a monument or an object. So you see, when you stand in front of the Taj Mahal, you see the symmetry, you see the minarets. The minarets are bulging out. You see the calligraphy, how it has been written. The words which are written on the lower side are smaller, and as you go up, they are bigger. But when you see that how difficult task it would have been for the people who were doing this Pietra Dura work there. So that sort of messages, they come out of the monuments. So conservation is not just just keeping it standing, the monument. It is also about bringing out the messages which are there inside the monument, and that is the work that Madhu Botriji is doing, not only for the monuments but also for the sites and the region, and that is how you are able to design the heritage walks. So I think I will not speak much more than this and hand over the mic to the speaker. So I request all of you to kindly welcome Madhu Botriji. Over to you, ma'am.
So, I once again welcome all the guests here, and my great regards to His Holiness Dalai Lama Ji and Geshe-la, who is not here and he's busy somewhere else, but his representatives are already here, and their warm gesture since morning has literally filled my stomach with a lot of food and a lot of affection. Thank you very much. And now coming to the lecture, what you are going to see is not only the sites, not only Telangana, but the whole journey, what I have been moving around Buddhist sites. And I'm more of a storyteller, you can say, standing here right now with the little illustrations which I do for children. So you can see here, some of them you've already seen on the screen. I was just sharing this with Achal sir that I miss children if I don't see them for a week. And these children could be of this age or this age. So for me, children is, of course, forgive away whatever little I have, maybe a drop from the knowledge of the ocean, or I'm just standing on the shore and just seeing the knowledge of the big, vast ocean. So this topic is very close to my heart, Buddhist Heritage of Telangana. And the drawings which you are seeing, I will start from the extreme left and extreme right. So extreme left is the region, that red dot, where I belong to right now. I practice in Hyderabad. So we are talking about the period which is pre-Buddhist. Okay, because to be very honest, whatever we are seeing as Buddhist architecture today, little bit historic layer is before that also. There's nothing wrong in calling it Buddhist heritage or Buddhist architecture, but every layer has something before that. It is like if I am standing here and you get to know about me, then we will slowly ask where do you belong to, who's your dad, what does your mom do. So similarly, Buddhist architecture also has its own background. So the map tries to represent that. And then the second drawing, which you are seeing the head of the Buddha, believe me, it is done by a grade 3 child. And the architecture, the artifact, the head of Buddha is right in the room where the child is sitting and sketching. I related with the graduate student. Today morning I have been to National Museum and I already requested, in Telugu we say Garu, please don't mind, Garu means G. it automatically comes to me. So Secretary Garu, I have already requested him, when you are inviting me, please give me a slot where I can see National Museum and I can continue my talk back and forth, because you relate better with what you see in your own city. So this is, just imagine that a student of graduation level sitting and drawing in the museum, vis-a-vis the student coming to my house, sitting in my study room and drawing a Buddha head. Then the second drawing, where you are seeing the colored one, is again by a child. So this is a small deepam, in Telugu we say deepam, or you can say a lamp, which is a 4, actually you can put 4 to 5 diyas together in one. That's also done by a child. And then the second one is Buddha Pada, of course we all connect with that. Similarly we also have Vishnu Pada. Then the right hand side is, it's a votive stupa. So we have stupas of different type which will follow in the main lecture. Next slide please. Yeah. This is what you are seeing is Sanchi Stupa, and right hand side the sketch from different sides of Telangana. So my question first comes for the lecture is, Buddhist heritage is a testimony of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and the question comes, why did Buddhists build? Like I already told you, there's a smaller layer which is before Buddhism, Buddhist architecture starts. So why did they build? So is it going to the next level? Yeah. So first is to understand the mind. So morning I was having a discussion with Secretary Garu, and then he told me that His Holiness Dalai Lama's message has 3 components. Of course, one is religion for people who already are following it, or the faith, let's call it. So first is for the faith. Second is for the science of the mind. And third is for the philosophy. So I'm trying to catch the second 2 points with the architecture. And please forgive me if I make any mistake, because I'm also a learner. As I said, I'm trying to catch the drop of the ocean from the big knowledge. And if you can correct me, please come forward and correct me. All the mistakes are mine. So I believe that Buddhists build to understand the mind. And I was taught in Nalanda Buddhist philosophy for the little time what I have spent with Nirzala, my guru. Mind is clear and mind is knowing. So it means me as a student is standing in front of a lake which has very clear water, or river which has very clear water, and then we are seeing the moon, reflection of the moon in water. That is the state of mind, I'm assuming. And they also built for Vasavas. So the monks are walking all the time. They don't, I believe they don't build for themselves, but at the same time during rainy season they don't walk. And then they have to stay somewhere. This is what is the rain retreat, so they built for that. And as I already told, that the drawing is from Sanchi. I will come to that, why I put the drawing. As I told you that before talking about Telangana, I'm trying to create a context. So the context is from national to regional. So for now, what picture you are seeing is Mahatali Caves from Mumbai. The name written is as per the archaeological context, Kondavite Caves. And also extreme right you have Phanigiri. This is the, I will come to that, the crown ornament from, you can say, the Buddhist archaeological, you can say, yeah. Basically it's a poetry in marble, you can see. Okay, so like when I write a book, I try to create chapters. When I write a research paper, I want to tell my reader what all we are talking about. So here it is. We are building the bridge where we are living in present right now, and we are trying to revisit the past. And connecting with the past, we are going to Lumbini, we are going to Ramagrama, Piparva, Kushinara, Sankisa, Mathura Museum, Lucknow Museum, and of course, in today's morning, like I have seen already, National Museum. So yeah, my mind is still in National Museum. We are trying to define heritage. When I say Buddhist heritage, you should know what heritage is. Of course you know, but I'm just trying to reiterate the fact. Living heritage and testimony of Buddha. And typologies. In Buddhist heritage, what are typologies we have? So we have stupa, we have vihara, we have monolithic caves, we have pillars, gateways, and rock inscription. Though rock inscription don't make architecture, but without inscription, sir will agree with me, you cannot read the vocabulary of vast Buddhist heritage across the globe, not only in India, not only in Telangana. So we are trying to take example from different sites and museums, described with hand illustration, which I already told you. They are well labeled sketches, they are done by me, so you can call them infographics. And then when we come to Buddhist Heritage of Telangana, which is the second half of the lecture, we go to Phanigiri, we go to Devunigutta, we go to Dhulikatta. To some extent, we will see Nelakondapalli also. And we see State Museum of Ajanta replicas and eye copies are there in Telangana, I mean Hyderabad. We also have Centenary Heritage Museum where the excavation records are there in picturesque form. And you have Kondapur Museum, which is with Archaeological Survey of India. We have Salarjan Museum also in the talk, which has Far East Connect. And the drawing what you are seeing is actually a historic drawing. It is from Amravati Stupa. What you have seen the video just now, Nagarjuna Konda Stupa, is actually connecting with Amravati Stupa. So when we say what all we are seeing in terms of typology, you can go to Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi and you will see the bull capital there. And similar to bull capital, I'm going to show you in the site which I have seen. Some part are not there in India. I mean, I have not visited. They might be there. So those I'm trying to show you from different sites. So the architectural vocabulary that is reflecting the Buddhist philosophy, I will in 1 or 2 slides, I'll try to show you that, what is my understanding. So we have monolithic structure. Mono means one and lithic means stone. So monolithic is one stone structure, which is caves. As I already told you that they were there for Vasavas and also to meditate in total darkness, to experience the clear light, where we say mind is clear and mind is knowing. Another type of architectural components within the pillar, as I said, you have the capital, the topmost part of the pillar, where it has some animal. Why that animal also, we'll come to that. So elephant capital you will see in Sankesa, horse capital is lost, but as I went to Lumbini and I have learned there from the author and from the records also, that horse capital was there in Lumbini. And the bull capital we are seeing already, it's called Rampurva bull, because it was found in Rampurva, Bihar. Another is lion capital from Sarnath, which you already see in National Museum. And then you have the openings. Of course, we'll see openings in the caves areas also. Then we have independent structure, which is stupa. Stupa has different components, which is anda. Anda is basically when you see in elevation a semicircular line, that part is anda. Then you have Vedika, and then you have Torana. Toranas are independent gateways. And then what you are seeing to the extreme right, one scholar has tried to prove this is the part from part of Torana in Phanigiri, Telangana. Then we have Chaitya Hall or Viharas. They are for 1 point meditation. So when you are sitting in the Vihara as a scholar, as a Buddhist practitioner, your focus should be on the stupa. This is where I feel it is for 1 point meditation. Then we also have rocket water bodies. People, I mean the practitioner who were building in the rocky outcrop, they try to understand and feel the presence of powerful element forces, and these elemental forces that would support the deep spiritual connect. So you have the water body around you and then you are closing your eyes with the water body. Your connection is better, your focus improves, and then you can meditate in an easier way. Extreme right hand side, the two pictures what I have shown you is from Sri Lanka. The scholar has done a presentation online and I have taken the screenshot. He's trying to show that these are the washrooms used by the mendicants at that point of time. Okay, so coming to my question, why did Buddhist build and how it connects with Buddhist philosophy. So as an architect, I see there's a square and there's a circle. Let us see how it transforms into the structure. So if I put square over square is actually a 3-dimensional image. You close your eyes and you just imagine a region of Nepal or any hilly region where you have 2 sloping roofs, one on top of the other. So they are basically 2 squares together. And that is what you are seeing here. Now coming to the circle part, when you put square and circle together, you get an apsidal end plan. And this is your Vihara plan. And then the circle which you are seeing in center, here, this part is for your 1 point meditation. So imagine that you are sitting here, leaving the entrance on a U shape, and then your 1 point focus is here. And in Hyderabad, we have a Buddhist Ananda Buddha Vihar, and I have experienced it there, so I relate with that. And Buddhist stupas are also written about in Buddhist texts. As I said, that there is a layer already. So in the Buddhist text, you will further see where Shakyamuni Buddha is talking to Ananda Bhante, and then he talks about 6 Chaitya as per the Pali text. So now I mean, this is my understanding that this is the stupa and this is just the area around it where they plan the railings and all. I'm just putting a square just to simplify it. Now you are entering from one part. Just imagine that you are entering from one part and I give you a plan where you say east, west, north and south. But then it is beyond that. It is not only east, west and north and south. So now this is your east, west, north and south. This becomes your in between. So you connect with this where you have Metta chant, where we read in Karaniya Metta Sutta, Kudak Nikaya. It's a shared ancient spiritual connect where we say Purati Maya Disaya, Pachimaya Disaya, Uttara Disaya, Dakina Disaya. So basically, this is my understanding that when I'm chanting Metta Sutta, I'm invoking, let's say, peace for everyone, wellness for everyone, compassion for everyone. Now, where is everyone? Everyone is in the east. That is why we say Purati Maya Disaya. Then again, Pachimaya Disaya, Uttara Disaya, Dakina Disaya. The story doesn't end here. We come to Purati Maya Anudisaya, Pachimaya Anudisaya. So in between also we have 4 directions. Now you are done with 8 directions. Now they also say in the direction above, in the direction below. So you are basically trying to imagine a sphere around you, and that sphere is actually in the elevation would be your stupa, which you have seen in the last slide. And this is where I was telling that how Shakyamuni Buddha talks to Anandabhante. And then when you come to terminology also, in Sri Lanka it is called Dagoba. So the term is Dhatu Gabo, where you are keeping the Dhatu relics. So this is what you are seeing, the wheel-shaped stupa. Similarly, you have already seen in the video, Amravati Stupa recreation. This is Nelakondapalli. I mean, this is over a period of time, different designs have appeared. First, you see a plain stupa, then you further see sometimes 4 punctures, then there are further more punctures. So this is a wheel-shaped stupa. Now, as I said that, I will take you on a journey of not only India, right now beyond border of India. Why? Because when you say Shakyamuni Buddha was born, there was no India, there was no Nepal. There was one kingdom. And still we have Kapilavastu, which is in Nepal and which is in India. Also just the borderline stands. But then we connect. We connect with different countries. As you go to National Museum and you will see that even till far southeast you have, then you have entire Southern Asia. So there were no boundaries. When Buddha walked, there were no boundaries. So this is the Ashoka capital, and it is believed that it was a horse capital and the horse is lost. And somewhere here is the inscription which proves that Buddha was born here. You can get into the history part. This is the place where Shakyamuni Buddha was born. This is, I happened to visit the Lumini Museum also as a part of the conference. We were there, so we saw different fragments. Why I have put it here? Because I belong to architectural field and I'm trying to make connection through architecture. Already I have seen in the morning similar kind of terracotta tiles or terracotta bricks in National Museum today morning. This is another terracotta sculpture. We can get into the description if time allows. This is the fragments of the main pillar, which you already saw. Another beautiful site I went to where you can really feel that the peace that connect with Buddha is Ramagrama. So the story goes like this, that there were 8 stupas as per the main life of Buddha. 8 sites were selected by 8 different kingdoms, and then they had the relic sharing, and then they made 8 stupas. But the story doesn't end here. When Ashoka comes, Emperor Ashoka, he wanted to open all the stupas so that he can recollect all the relics and he can redistribute them. And it is believed that 84,000 stupas were made, or if not stupas, 84,000 times the process was repeated of remembering Buddha in different parts of the world. So out of 8 stupas, 7 stupas were opened, 8th one was not. Now everybody has a different claim, but then when I went to Nepal, I found this interesting and very enlightening. So I sat there and I took this picture, and believe me, it is just 6:30 in the morning. You can see a little bit of fog and light trees around. And then there were 2 young girls, and then they wanted to give us this flower, lotus, of course, from the pond nearby. And I just happened to feel very connected. And if you're seeing the flags here, so there's a very beautiful and very small, like, till your, this height, I would say, like at least 2 feet high. there's a wooden pavement around the entire stupa, so you technically don't walk on the stupa, which is of course not appropriate, and then you are walking on the area around it, so you are doing your circumambulation. At the same time, you are not disturbing any archaeological remains under the surface. So this was of course a great thing. Here I just tried to corroborate the fact with history, though my subject is only architecture, so I am focusing on architecture. And this site, what I showed in Ramagrama, is on the tentative World Heritage list right now. This is another very interesting thing. I'm sure quite a few of already know about it. There is an exhibition going on Piparva relics. So October 2025 I was here, and when I went to the museum, it was so overwhelming to see whatever artifacts they had, but the holy relics were not here. And I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll get to do darshan of the holy relics. So this is what you see right now in Piparva Museum. This is actually the Piparva Stupa as you enter. So then there is Vihara, there's a main Stupa. This is our claim of Kapilvastu, Indian side. But I really feel that there were no borders and there should be no borders. When Buddha walked borderless, we should also join hands.
Ramagram is in Nepal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now I take you to Kushinara or Kushinagar, and there are two major sites in Kushinagar which I also try to understand through of course the satellite map. One place where Buddha was, he breathed his last, Mahaparinirvana we say. So Buddha Shakyamuni breathed his last here, and this is also very, very historic. Please read about it if you are interested. I mean, I felt presence of Lord Buddha there. So when I was there, I was invited by the senior monk there, and then he gave me a small gold leaf. And then there was a Thai monk. In fact, he was going for a puja, and then I was made part of puja. And then they said, you can apply the gold leaf on the top of Shakyamuni Buddha's head, and then that's the ritual they follow. It was very, very, I would say, very different moment. So this picture is not taken by me. I mean, it was written there, don't take pictures, so I have taken it from Google. It was very surreal moment, very different. And then these are the people when Mahaparinirvana happened. So now I'll take you to the second site of Kushinara, very, very famous site. There are many sites, but then to keep it short, I have just taken one more. This is called Ramabhar Stupa. Ramabhar Stupa is where Buddha Shakyamuni was cremated. And there is one more site which is just 200 to 500 meters from here, where the relic distribution has happened. I have not put the picture because right now it just looks like a flat land. A lot of work has to go on that side. And then there is one more side where there's a small well. Interestingly, these small stupas, I asked a senior monk there. Then he told, in Hindi, he told, आपको जो छोटा दिखे वो छोटा kingdom है, जो बड़ा दिखे वो बड़ा kingdom है. So the stupas which are smaller in size are the smaller kingdom, and which are very mighty, they are from the mighty kingdoms. So this was the explanation given by the monks there, and very, very beautiful experience, because there are no, what you call guide, quote unquote. These are the people who are taking care of the monument, the monks there, and they gave a beautiful explanation of that entire thing. And then he also quoted lot of Pali text. Now this is another very interesting thing. I'm sure not many people know about it. We celebrate something called Abhidhamma Day, and if you go to Malaysia, they have a tradition. I cannot quote the term in Malaysian word, but then they have, like East Asia also you will find that sequence. So Abhidhamma is believed that Buddha taught his mother. The Dhamma was taught by Shakyamuni Buddha to his mother, and this is the location to commemorate that. And already Ashoka has come here, Emperor Ashoka, and he made this stupa which you are seeing in a little, I would say, not a complete state. Little similar to Ramabhar when you see the curve. You can see the scale very close to that location. And I give this credit to my Guru Nilzala. When I was learning Nalanda Buddhist philosophy somewhere during COVID time, she got me connected to another colleague of hers, and then say, Madhuji, you must go to Sankisa. And it just happened that I generally don't go so often to my hometown, but then it happened that she wanted me to go, or Lord Buddha wanted me to go, and I happened to go there, and it was a great visit. Really, you know, and this is not the one site. I will show you some more sites. So I have put the historic map, Alexander Cunningham's work. So this is what you see right there, the elephant capital. As I told you, National Museum has a lion capital, like Sarnath capital, you know, and the horse capital is lost. Bull capital, I already showed you Rampur capital in National Museum. This is your elephant capital. They are all same scale, same scale. And this here, you have different animals. In the National Museum also you can experience. And this is Nagamochilinda. I'll come to the Nagamochilinda in detail. Very beautiful explanation I have on this. And here this is gone. And around 30 kilometers from this side, there's one more site. Of course, it is protected. And here you can see another feature from the Buddhist culture. I don't want to name it because I don't have the specific name for it, but you can see the Nagamochilinda here. And this is being used by as a trough, TROUGH, trough. जानवरों के खाने और चारे की जगह, where the animal fodder is kept. Till date it has happened there. Like some 4 years back I was here. This is part of a kind of a temple entrance, you can see. And these are also similar to Buddhist iconography. And then there's a beautiful capital. I should have put another picture, but somehow I couldn't find it. These are all clicked by me. So when I went, this was a rainy season and I walked barefoot, trusting the same tradition, following the same tradition, and the whole village came out. I can't show you more people. And then they were asking, Madam, chappal chahiye kya? I was so overwhelmed there. Then another 30 kilometers, there was one more site where I could not go, so I did not put a picture. Now, the story is incomplete because you did not see all the elements from all the site. You will say you showed stupa, but where is the railing? So here I am trying to show you the railing. I took some more pictures today in the National Museum in a more complete form. So what happened? This is a vertical element and this is a horizontal element. Now imagine horizontal element getting in this hole. Just imagine the section of like an elliptical section, and this railing goes here. So the vertical post and the horizontal post. Now this is the period when Buddha Shakyamuni is not shown in a physical form, in human form. Here, these are called aniconic forms. So you have an elephant, you have the Bodhi tree, and then you also have the seat, okay, throne, you can say. Yeah, this is from Lucknow Museum, and this is. Should we switch off some of the lights? Yeah. So here it is actually a door frame from Kushana period, very, very detailed. You can see all the elements if you see carefully. Okay, I don't mind sharing the presentation also, you can see. So it is now a mix of both the timing, like an iconic form, both are there in this. So this is a door frame. Now here, because we are in the same museum, I thought of putting this also. This is Simhanada Avalokiteshwara. This is very, very beautiful. You have a lotus here, then you have a Vajra here, and then you see the posture, the way he's sitting. It's a magnanimous picture. And why the picture is in poor light? Because I could not ask for more than this. The pictures were limited. As a scholar, I could just enjoy the liberty offered to me only for research purpose. Now, this is another very interesting site. It is not only Buddhist site, to be very honest. There are Jain architecture, Jain cultural artifacts. You will also find some of the now called Hindu, but I better call it Sanatan. So you have Vaishnavite, Shaivite, and then Jaina and Buddha. So this one I found in the National Museum today. I took it from Wikipedia, but then I have the picture today. It is in National Museum, and not this, even similar scale, very big statue of Buddha Shakyamuni. And interestingly, to my knowledge, this is one of the pyramidical temple of India. I still can't say the only, because there is a lot which we don't know about our own country. But then at this scale, you imagine that I am standing somewhere here and I am taking the picture. These are the boys standing there. If you can see just this part, it looks like a Shivalingam of this height. If I start from the stage, it is of this height. So you can call it maybe votive stupa, because it has an octagonal base, or you can call it a Shivalingam. A lot has to be done here because there are mix of different periods. But one of the very magnanimous site, and I mean you're just awestruck, and it is difficult to climb till top because the steps stepped structure is not meant to climb. There are different ways to go up, so I managed to go from the straight route and I was on top, but a big site, very big site. Now I take you to Assam. To be very honest, I was not here physically, but I teach virtually in Assam. So then me and another professor, I'll tell his name, we have identified this site together, and then the students were taken to do some kind of project related to architectural history. And this is one very unique kind of stupa which is stitched from this line actually. So there was some natural disaster, because of this stupa fell into two parts, and then thanks to all the government officers together, they stitched it, and this is how you see the stupa on site. Very beautiful site. I'm yet to go there, but I worked on this. I wrote a research paper with the help of the other professor there. And these are the similar terracotta thing. If you see, this looks like the deepam which I showed you in the starting. And these are another terracotta features. Maybe they are part of some of the buildings. And we also see same in Lumbini, as I showed in the starting. And National Museum also has similar kind of cultural artifacts, you can say. This is another site for which I give credit to Dr. Nezavangmo, my guru for Nalanda Buddhist philosophy. And when we were on one of the sessions, then she told me, Madhuji, you must check Devni Mori. So Devni Mori is now gone into reservoir. Very similar case like Nagarjun Konda, but here you only see a flag somewhere in between. All this is submerged because of the reservoir. And then this is what they found there, which is about, you can read about it, Paticca Samutpada, the dependent origination, they say. So it's more about that. And then these are the the site pictures when they excavated for the first time. In fact, people asked me when I started talking about this in Telangana, oh, you have a site in Gujarat also? I said, yeah, I got to know about it. You have in Punjab also. But then I didn't go there, I didn't have any connection, so I left it. So this, I was invited to Mumbai for just one day program. I was invited by ZTV, where they were identifying 75 people to celebrate 75 years of Indian independence. They say, you are part of Viksit Bharat, you have worked something which is recognizable thanks to their honor. I was there, but I requested them that you have to give me choice of visiting one Buddhist site which is closer to your location. And then they were kind enough to take me there, and I could take one of this picture. This is very ancient site, early Buddhism. You can read about. Andhra Desa is the term which is already learnt in Buddhist text. So we are showing you the sites through this trade route. If you can notice this trade route. Further, in many of the texts, we also have the term called Dakshinapatha and Uttarapatha. So where I belong to is of course Dakshinapatha, where you belong to is Uttarapatha, and then the juncture is somewhere here. So we are actually in this area right now. Okay, so you have Nagarjun Konda. Amravati is of course present Andhra Pradesh, the divided part. Okay, then I'm talking about Phanigiri, then I'm talking about Kondapur. Further here you have Maharashtra. So you have Ter, Solapur, this all is Maharashtra side. So this part is Asaka, further is Mulaka. We have site Dhulikatta in our presentation right now. Let's go to these sites now. This is Telangana, and as you are seeing, all the blue are water bodies. So as we know that all the architecture, culture, civilizations grew around the water bodies. So as per our Sutta, we have a place called Badankurti, where there was a guru, his name is Bavari. So Bavari sends 15 plus 1, that is Pingala, 16 of his disciples to Buddha Shakyamuni. And what he learned is brought back, and then the teaching is followed in Telangana. Now I am putting this site because this is the biggest site I find in Telangana and the most beautiful site in terms of cultural artifact what we see today. The place is called Phanigiri. Phani is in Telugu and Sanskrit also is related to the snakehood. So when you see in Google map, you actually see like a snake. You see this. And imagine that when you are traveling, when you get the free land, there are no buildings, you just see agricultural field to your left and your right. And straight you see a big site. You just see like a rectangle. But then this rectangle turns into a S shape. Like a real Naga standing behind you in 100 scale. Maybe more than 100. A huge rocky outcrop. You just close your eyes and it's wow. That wow factor comes. So I was, whomever I told in Telangana, at least I would say 90% people said they don't know about it. So this is one cultural artifact which I think is the most beautiful thing I have seen in my life. This is actually, they call it carrying the tuft of Buddha. So when Buddha left, you call Mahabinishkramana, right sir? Yeah, so when Buddha left all his worldly life, the great departure, yes. So this signifies that, and the actual scale is like this. So probably somebody tried to imagine the crown, the pagdi, the turban which Buddha wore. And the name Phanigiri is probably a later term, could be Pagri, Phanigiri, Pagri, the pagdi, the turban. So, I mean, there's a lot of research already going on this. So this is a black and white drawing done by me because I was so impressed looking at this. And I will tell you why I have identified this, like we keep this, no, ZPHS Phanigiri. I'll come to that. Now this is Phanigiri where you have, you have Mahastupa, you have those Chaitya halls, and then you have the pillared hall, congregation hall. I mean, I'm quite sure it is more than one structure there. And lot of learnings have happened, maybe different faith. Within Buddhism, different branches were there and people learned so much, people talked so much. To be very honest, I'm not the right person to talk on this, so I'm leaving only at architectural level. This is another beautiful site near Karimnagar, Peddapalli district in Telangana, Dhulikatta or Dhulikota. There is a stupa. What you are seeing in elevation, it would look like this because it is not that semicircular which I told you in the introduction. That is why I showed you different sites so that you can imagine what it would have been like. So if you just imagine, it would be like this, much higher. So what happened over a period of time, the bricks were lost. These are all terracotta bricks, they washed away and all that. So here there are these panels you are seeing. The similar panel we found in the museum and I tried to create a drawing. Okay, because I love the illustration and this is the way I communicated with the younger students. And here you have actually carved Buddhapada, if you can see carefully here. These are Buddhapadas. And if you see the marble, the dexterity of marble, the way it is crafted, you can actually feel the snake skin. It is so beautifully done. So I was trying to correlate with the Muchalinda Vaggo, which talks about Naga Muchalinda. And this is what is your Naga Muchalinda. And then you have the Chhatra also. This is another interesting site I want you to come to with me. It's called Devunigutta. But the kind of trek it has, you need minimum 50 minutes. I mean, I would be 2 years, 3 years younger when I went there, but still I needed 45 minutes, I remember. And the water streams are on. Imagine who would go and build all this there. And if you close your eyes, you see that you are in Cambodia. It's a very Cambodian type of work. And if I'm not wrong, I showed you Avalokiteshwara. It looks very much like that. And one of the senior scholar, in Telangana, he also says that there's an Aika pillar. And what is Aika pillar? I'll explain you. That is very much actually Andhra Desa type, Aika pillar concept. It is not found in most of the stupas in the other part of the country. So this is 9th century. And as I told you, that we have an Aika pillar there. And it's in this state only right now. Okay. And then I told you about a site called Kondapur. So Kondapur Archaeological Survey of India Museum is right now not open. So I went to State Museum, which I generally go, Centenary Heritage Museum. Centenary Heritage Museum, and these are the artifacts I found there. So all these terracotta beads were there, very interesting. And this is another terracotta feature was found here. And in the morning I saw a similar thing from Far East region in National Museum today morning. Maybe you can go and verify the fact. Very, very similar type of, what you are seeing around it, lotus petals and series of lotus petals. Now, this is, that was Centenary Heritage Museum. This is State Museum in Hyderabad. And this is the present, we have the Buddhist relics there. And then we have, there is something called, I won't call this replica, but they are eye copies. So what happened? Somewhere in 1915, I think 1915, 1930s, yeah. Somewhere that time, Ghulam Yazdani, he was a very famous archaeologist, and then he sent his artist irrespective of faith, to copy what Ajanta caves looked like. And then these are the, 1:1 scale, you can feel that it is so beautiful. And this is now in the museum. I can't show you the exact eye copies, but they're there. And the last one, I would like to give the credit to Saladin Museum also, where we have Connect from China. These are handmade drawing of the actual statues found there. This is present. Here we had IBC conference, International Buddhist Conference. And then we have Nilzalai here and myself here, and then a lot of scholars and venerable monks. And this is my house. So this is nothing old. This is latest, but from Odisha sandstone. Now, why I showed you that picture, because I really feel that students connect very well with what you show them at present, other than historic. So here, this is a capacity building for the teachers. We have a program called Museum Walk in Centenary Heritage Museum, where we have a lot of Buddhist artifacts. I already showed you Kondapur Museum, some part of it in State Centenary Museum. So there the class is happening. Here, this is something very, very interesting. This is around 10 years back, or maybe a little more. And then we took the students on Chomela Palace, where we are talking about the first Nizam with the parent, and this is the map. Here it is again Centenary Heritage Museum, where some event is happening, where the children are doing some kind of, observing the artifact and then drawing it there. And this is latest we started connecting sustainable development goals with historic sites. So this place is called British Residency, or you can call it former British Residency. And the children are taken there, and this little box, if you can observe, this says the flood mark, the flood level. I mean, when Hyderabad had floods, the water reached till this level. So when I asked a student, why do you think you are being brought here? The child with a lot of confidence, the student replied, this I'm talking about 6th grade students, sir. Ma'am, so that we don't build in future the way the flood has touched, we should know that the water will come till here. And a few hundred meters from this point is the river, in those days also. So this is, I really feel that this is the takeaway. For me, it's a great satisfaction if I could give even a drop of my, whatever knowledge I have gathered from the ocean, to give it to the students. Very, very satisfying it is when children understand what we are trying to do. And here it is called IEC, information. I'll just go back. So you have information, education and communication. So we must work with IEC, information, education and communication. So when I'm writing, it is information, when I'm talking, it is information, and together it becomes education. And this education is basically should be the part of our communication with the children. I remember when I was a child, we would have this question given in maths. 4 लोग एक दीवार को 2 दिन में बनाते हैं. 4 people are constructing wall, a part of the wall in 4 days. Okay, how many people will construct it in 2 days? So the child will at least imagine that you are going to construct the wall. Somehow those kind of questions are being lost. So how do we react as a teacher, as an educator with the children is also very, very important. Even as a parent, I feel when I'm spending time with my child, how I spend my time. Only with the gadgets or with the help of gadget, giving the information of that time, connecting with past and present together to make the history lecture more lively, to make integrated, whether history is connecting with science or not. I mean, if I call the student here on this side and I tell the teacher I'm going to have a history lesson, believe me, the takers are very few. But when I say I'm talking about sustainable development goal, I'll tell them science, I'll tell them civil engineering aspect, I'll show them architecture. Oh wow, that's nice. And this is what our education should be like. I'm not sure what I studied, to be very honest, but Gurukul already had the integrated system. So we are bringing back that integration in many of the schools. Actually, they're doing a good job. So I'm just trying to fill the gaps wherever I can through the students, through the teachers. So here I have one booklet here. Okay, so you can see the booklet here. So all the, if you see the architectural drawing which I showed you, would be made into a book which is hand stitched. So you basically have a A4 sheet divided into 2 parts and then cut it into smaller pieces and then stitch it in the center. It is so simple, and then children love it. when you do that, ma'am, can I have one more book? Can you give me a needle? I want to stitch it. So this is how I try, and this is another site from Telangana, which is archaeoastronomy. I wanted to share it with you. So when archaeology and astronomy come together, so just imagine 500 or 1000 years back, you wanted to construct a stupa, you wanted to construct a Chaitya hall or a temple. How would you select the site, and why would you select only that site? Would you not calculate the stars, the constellation? When you study that together with archaeology, in today's date is archaeoastronomy. It's very, very interesting. To be very honest, this is not the time to go into depth of that, but you can if you want. So this is archaeoastronomy side where we took children there, and I think we have a senior scholar here who spoke. He's a gentleman. He spoke, and then the teachers there and the students. Here I was invited by the central government on a program called Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So when I got a call, madam, can you do something on with children? Then I thought, I'm an architect, I can only do architecture. So studying architecture through history is, you can see, fortunately, it is just stupa here. So you are talking about the entire chronology of World Heritage Site. Like, you cannot do all the history, right? It is too much for 40-minute session for a student. So we only picked up World Heritage Site, and when I asked the student, have you seen the line capital? Everybody said yes. How many lines are there? One fellow got up, said 2. Another fellow got up 3. Another said 4. I said, you fight amongst yourself. Tell me how many lines. So then the students, it was a girls' session. So I made all the 4 students stand together. I said, east, west, north, south, and now you join together. This is your line capital. And there was a wow in the class. They really loved it. And this was a message of Shakyamuni Buddha, that lion's roar, if you read in your text, that when the message goes, it goes in all the direction. If you see what Metta Sutta also I read, it goes in all the directions. So the kids were very happy doing that. And here, this is from the ZTV, where they wanted me to talk about the historic, the storytelling, what I do with children. Yeah, this is a child who had come home, and then they are doing all this artwork. Okay, so we say that it can be done with different age group in a different way. Yeah, so you are teaching a student of architecture, there's a different method to do. You are teaching the student of history, there's a different method. Even I have variety of students with me till date, and it is, I enjoy doing it. So activity sheets we prepare as per the site. Like, for example, you leave me in National Museum for a day, and I would come up with maybe 10-20 activity sheets, and then you go to every gallery, and then you learn this, and these are your takeaways from that site, from that monument, from that cultural artifact. This is one more program. We call this capacity building and community engagement. These are World Heritage volunteers. So from 240 kilometers from Hyderabad, there is a World Heritage site, Telangana's only World Heritage site till date. In fact, with twin Telugu state, this is one site. So here, every year from last 4 years, I've been going. So this is one site, Ramappa Temple, where we get 50 World Heritage volunteers every year, 45, 50 from different part of the world. Of course, majority is from our region, but then we have sometime Iranian comes, sometimes some other country. So the program happened there, and then they spent 10 days in a camp where they learned about all this. And they learned much in detail and broad also, like, what is photogrammetry, for example, the site cleanup, all that happens here. So I go there as a resource person. This is, there's a book with Sir already, Magnifying the Miniature. So here we are doing some activity with the children. It is just by chance, believe me, it's just by chance, or maybe Buddha Shakyamuni wants it. The first drawing officially is from Pala period, that is Ashtasasra Prajnaparamita. And I was happy to share it with Geshe-la. And I said, I'm very happy that I can offer it to you. So this is what I am doing with school children. And here, of course, it's a government program related to tourism. So this is the last slide where we say the shloka in Sanskrit, Om Sahanavavatu Sahno Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhimastu Madvid Shavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's grow together, let's learn together. We have an ocean of knowledge in front of us. We have a lot to give to the younger generation, and the younger generation has a lot to take from here. I'm sorry. So I have my great regards for all the elders here, especially to His Holiness and to Geshila, to my Guru, Dr. Nilza Wangmo, Dr. Anirban Dash, who taught me how to read inscriptions, Bhante Buddhapalaji, with whom I go for Buddhist discourses, Bhante Sangarakita Ji, Bhante at Kushinara Temple, Lumbini, IBC, Archaeological Survey of India, museum staff in different museums, Department of Heritage Telangana, Department of Tourism Telangana, Youth Buddhist Society of Sankisa, Suresh Bodhi ji, who toured me around, Government of Telangana, different district authorities who helped us whenever we went, research scholars, Dr. Shivanagi Reddy, my Guru, Stapati, Dr. M. Srinivasan, another senior scholar, Dr. D.R. Shyamsundar, and he is another Stapati. He helped me with the last minute Buddhavanam project. And Dr. Hari Agrawal is from Guwahati. Because of him, I could present the site in Guwahati. Dr. Gamini Ranasinghe ji from Sri Lanka, about whom I was telling about the washrooms which he talked about. And of course, the light of Buddha Shakyamuni and my own family members. My husband is a great scholar. He keeps reading, so because of him, I'm here and I have the courage to talk on such a vast topic. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madhuji, for such an interesting talk. In fact, I must say that you have been able to bring a vast canvas of Buddhism, which is like an impossible task to cover in an hour's time. But I'm sure that there are questions. We have about 20 minutes question and answer sessions, please.
Sir.
Do you have a mic, please?
My question is regarding, first of all, the title, Telangana Heritage. You deviated to Nepal, Kushinagar, no problem, we learned something. For younger generation, here many of them, they are adults. My the question is, in Telangana, whatever sites you have shown, one site you said that it has gone under reservoir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I want the documentation. I want the documentation. How many sites have gone extinct? How many are surviving? And how many are under into the process? This documentation. You have made any documentation?
So the documentation is for all the sites. I have the document with me.
So can you tell how many are?
There are around 30 sites.
Which are existing now?
Existing, yeah. Yes.
And
yes.
How many are gone extinct?
Sir, to be very honest, extinct is not which is purposely done. Nobody wants the site to go. This is the locals' interest also.
Naturally, calamity.
Maybe I can say 10%, not more than that.
And under excavation process.
That is going on, sir. Like Phanigiri, we have seasons. Around 1950s we started. So that is of course going on. And then whatever we could salvage, there's a term called salvage archaeology. Whatever salvage we could do is already been in the museum. Thank you, sir. And gone doesn't mean they don't exist. They're there. The thing is, acquisition has to be done. The excavation has to be done. So.
Namaskar, Madam. Thank you for a very enriching and enlightening, insightful presentation. I don't have a question, but I have a submission and a request for you. In fact, core of my function in the government is the educational empowerment of children, youths and students, particularly from the marginalized section of the society.
Sure.
And Buddhism and Lord Gautama Buddha's teaching is basically on compassion. To take forward that, I would like to request you to convey to our students the importance of three-dimensional learning, not just from the books, but by using hand, heart and mind.
No.
Please give a thought
Sure.
and spread it.
Sure.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. You showed us so many sites that I didn't know about some of them. Phanigiri, of course, somebody gave a lecture here some time ago, but I forgot what they said. Now, this is a general question. You know, you showed so many sites in so many states over so many centuries, extinct and now re-excavated, or always, Bodh Gaya, for example, has always been observed, but mostly because of Burmese kings and queens. The Burmese kings and queens and Sri Lankans always kept Bodh Gaya alive. Why is it that when you go to like neighboring countries, whether it's Nepal or Thailand, even Malaysia and Sri Lanka, there are vibrant, alive Buddhist communities of monks and their lay supporters, because monasteries can't survive without lay support. That means a whole group of people in the society who believe in Buddhism. Why did that kind of thing not happen in India? Why did it disappear?
So would you like to answer this?
It's not really true in Arunachal Pradesh and in Upper Assam. In Arunachal Pradesh and in Upper Assam, the tradition of Buddhism is like, as you said about Thailand, Laos.
Karnataka, sir.
Karnataka is west. Karnataka
Yes.
is also one of the places where it's alive, and so it's same with the same zeal that the monks, they go in the morning for bhiksha, and they come back. And so same thing is happening. The thing is that maybe in the region which we call as the North India,
That suffered major attacks, sir.
that animated the Buddhism is not there, but otherwise Buddhism is quite is alive. You have got a big stupa in Arunachal Pradesh in the region called in the Khamti region, and all. It's a very very big, almost like. Which is a copy of a Burmese stupa or a thing. I've been there. So it's very very big Buddhist center in Arunachal Pradesh, and in monasteries in Assam. Assam is basically, if you will say that it's more about Vaishnavite culture of Sri Shankar Deva, but presence of Buddhism is quite there. And you have got these Khamti manuscripts. The manuscripts which are sometimes handwritten, which are given to the monks, and these are preserved in all the monasteries in Assam, in Arunachal Pradesh, and I'm sure in other parts of northeast states of India.
Even in Hyderabad we have.
I think sir wants to say something.
वैसे तो आपका जो कुछ विश्लेषण किया है, मैं बहुत ही आभारी व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा. आई अप्रिशिएट रियली व्हाट यू हैव शोन. लेकिन तथागत बुद्ध का जीवन की लीला में उस समय तो यूपी बिहार नहीं था. देयर वाज नो यूपी इन बिहार.
इंडिया नेपाल भी नहीं था.
तथागत बुद्ध की लीला जो है वो केवल जो यूपी बिहार आज में जो तथागत बुद्ध के जो तीर्थ स्थान जो हम लोगों को उपलब्ध है, वहाँ तक राहुल संस्कृतान के ग्रंथों में मिलता है. बाद में जो आप भी जो अपने तेलंगाना या जो भी हो, वो अशोका के बाद है. और ये जो विशेष करके नगर जूना
जी
तथागत बुद्ध के खुद के उपदेश में ये कहा कि मेरे परिनिर्वाण महापरिनिर्वाण के पश्चात 400 साल के बाद ऐसे विशेष व्यक्ति या कुछ रूप ऐसे आएंगे नगर जूना. तो इसलिए ये सब जो बाद में जो रचाया गया है आफ्टर द बुद्धा 400 years,
जी
तो ये इसलिए वो ऐसा भी संकेत ना जाए कि बुद्धा तेलंगाना में गया हो, बुद्धा असम में गया हो, ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा भी संकेत ना जाए, क्योंकि वंस यू आर हाईलाइटिंग इन द यंगर जनरेशन, then I think you are the second generation, we are the second generation. Third generation we have received from the first generation. हमें तो प्रथम पीड़ितों से मिले हैं, हमने देखा नहीं है उस समय, वो भी आज दुर्लभ भी है, स्टिल इट्स नॉट. तो इसलिए एक तो मैं ये अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा,
जी सर,
क्योंकि राहुल सांस्कृत्यायन के आप उसमें जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि राहुल सांस्कृत्यायन जी जो तिब्बत में विशेष करके बौद्ध दर्शन को खोजने गए for 4 times
जी
from the 1932,
जी
not like today's scenario.
हाँ
आज के ये वायुमंडल वगैरह नहीं थे,
जी।
पद यात्रा लद्दाख से लेकर हिमाचल से लेकर उत्तराखंड से लेकर, तो इसीलिए you the topic or what I can say, the subject is very relevant and also very important for the present scenario. जो दुर्लभ हो रहा है तो उस समय तो परम आवश्यकता है. तो एक तो मैं ये इसलिए आपको छोटेन के बारे में स्तूपा, फिर उसमें भी वी हैव 2 schools, you know very well, थेरावादा एंड महायाना. हमारे परंपरा में छोटेन नंबर द्युन छोटेन नंबर घे 8 डिफरेंट, जैसे आपने संगसाई का दिखाया, तो वो कहते हैं कि वो लव छोटेन, क्योंकि बुद्धा आफ्टर टीचिंग दी तथागत बुद्धा's mother, then once again descending from the heaven to the sansara, तो वो छोटेन का नाम कहता है the love छोटेन, जो हेवन से पधारते हुए उस समय की भूमि को देखते हुए एक स्तूपा बनाया गया है. और स्तूपा हमारे महायान परंपरा में स्तूपा खाली कभी नहीं जाता है, देयर मस्ट बी पुट सम स्प्रूशियस थिंग्स, रिलिक्स. इसलिए ये कुछ नहीं तो मैं हमेशा कहीं भी विचार रखता नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि आई जस्ट कम टू लिसन एंड इट्स अ वेरी रेलिवेंट. क्योंकि यूपी ने एक ऐसा 8 तीर्थ स्थान का एक किताब भी बना हुआ है, टूरिज्म डिपार्टमेंट. आई वॉज स्पोकन इन होटल अशोका 2 years बैक. दे आस्क्ड मी टू स्पीक अबाउट द वैल्यूज ऑफ द तथागत बुद्धा's holy places. इसलिए ये है, तो मैं इतना ही आपको, क्योंकि आई बीन देयर द तेलंगाना, नागार्जुना केव एंड एवरीवेयर. So that was really, government has done very well, that particularly when His Holiness has given a Kala Chakra initiation at that place. Still the government have to do to preserve. वो अभी ऐसे ही पड़ा हुआ था. Thank you.
धन्यवाद. I think your comments were quite important. मैंने तो पहले ही लेक्चर में कह दिया था कि तेलंगाना का जन्म 2014 जून में हुआ है. तो ये तो ज्योग्राफिकल बाउंड्री तो इसलिए आ रही है कि समझाने के लिए, अदरवाइज कोई ज्योग्राफिकल बाउंड्री नहीं है. इनफैक्ट बुद्धिज्म इज वन थिंग जो कि हिंदुस्तान की या पूरे दुनिया की एक बहुत बड़ी सॉफ्ट पावर है, जो सबको बहुत आसानी से जोड़ती है. सर ने कहा कि कंपैशन का मैसेज देना, पीस का मैसेज देना, तो उसके लिए तो कोई बाउंड्रीज है ही नहीं, तो विदाउट बाउंड्रीज है बुद्धिज्म. तो आप ये एक्चुअली ये लेक्चर यंगस्टर्स के लिए है, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि कुछ यंगस्टर्स कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछें प्लीज.
गुड इवनिंग, माय नेम इज Okay, my name is Sangamitra. So my question is, in one picture you said it is maybe Shivalinga or Jain or Shaiva or Sanatan. So particularly me, when I go to Hindu conferences, seminars, workshops, they never talk about Buddhism or Buddha. But when we come to Buddhist conferences, workshops, we always talk about Hinduism, Sanatani. So if we are all one Sanatani, so why they don't talk about Buddhism? Only why we talk?
No, I really feel that, thank you for the question. I really feel that being inclusive is what is taught by His Holiness, taught by, I would say, all the scholars and gurus. Being inclusive is more important. And then if we put our seal, this is ours. This is where the conflict starts, sir. Yes, we don't want to be conflict community, right? We are the peacemakers. Yeah? Does it answer your question? Thank you.
वो ये कहना चाह रही हैं कि जब मैं किसी हिंदू उसमें
जी।
जाती हूँ
जी।
तो बुद्धिज्म आप बिल्कुल उसमें डील नहीं करते हैं। जैसे जयदेव ने तो किया अपने 10 अवतार के स्तोत्र में, आप लोग दूसरी कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाते नहीं होता, लेकिन जब बुद्धिज्म कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है तो आप सनातन बुद्धिज्म सब हिंदू ये सब चीजें लेके आते हैं। तो मेरा मानना ये है कि जो आपने कहा है हमें वही करना चाहिए कि हमें किसी को भी डिस्कस करें तो बुद्धिज्म के बिना तो डिस्कस करना कोई पॉसिबिलिटी नहीं है। यही चाहती है हम। तो यही ये इनका एक हमारे लिए टेक अवे है जो ये इन्होंने दिया है। जैसे जयदेव ने अपनी 10 अवतार स्तोत्र में 10 अवतार में जो है वहां से शुरू करते हैं वो मत्स्य अवतार से, और 9वें अवतार बुद्ध भगवान हैं, और फिर कल्कि हैं, ऐसे करके। तो इस तरीके से आप शायद कहना चाहते हैं कि तो बात सही है, गलत बात नहीं है उनकी।
सर मैं अहिछत्रा इसीलिए लेके आई, मुझे मालूम था अहिछत्रा के बारे में। बहुत सारे बुद्धिस्ट टेक्स्ट हैं, जैन टेक्स्ट हैं, हिंदू टेक्स्ट हैं, बट मैंने अहिछत्रा इसी गारंटी से लगाया कि मैं सुबह भी म्यूजियम में देख के आई, इतने बड़े बुद्धा हैं तो हम उसको क्यों ना मेंशन करें। और उसके बाद आपको मालूम होगा, यू नो यू आर अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ हिस्ट्री, देन यू वुड नो दैट देयर वर डिफरेंट क्वींस एंड किंग्स एंड पेट्रन हु वर पैरेलली एग्जिस्टिंग। So let's be, you know, judicial about it. Let's be inclusive about it.
आप जो मैम ने एक पिपरवा का नाम लिया ना बीच में, तो उसकी एक किला राय पिथौरा साकेत के पास बहुत सुंदर एग्जीबिशन लगी हुई है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर ने लगाई है। उसमें जो बुद्धा रेलिक्स हैं और जो एग्जीबिशन का जो उन्होंने थीम रखा है वो बुद्धा को चक्रवर्ती महाराज की तरह से दिखाने की कोशिश की है। और उससे रिलेटेड जितने भी आर्टिफैक्ट्स हैं नेशनल म्यूजियम में, इंडियन म्यूजियम में, या उनको कंटेम्प्रेरी आर्टिस्टों ने जो उनको किस तरीके से देखा है उसको भी दर्शाया गया है। आप देख के आएंगे, आपको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, बल्कि इस लेक्चर को सुनने के बाद आपको और ज़्यादा मजा आएगा वो देखने में। और पिपरवाह एक साइट है जिसको कपिल वस्तु माना जाता है आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट द्वारा कि ये किसी जमाने में कपिल वस्तु रहा होगा। तो वहां पर एक कंस्ट्रक्शन के दौरान एक पेपे नाम के आदमी थे, उनको कुछ खुदाई के दौरान कुछ जूल्स मिले जो कि रेलिक्स थे, क्योंकि जब भी रेलिक्स हैं उसके साथ में सेमी प्रेशियस स्टोन्स साथ में थे उनके। तो वो जूल्स उन्होंने क्या किया कि जो उस समय तक लॉ आ गया था, एंटीक्वेरियन लॉ, जिसमें होता था कि जो भी चीज खुदाई के दौरान मिल रही है तो वो स्टेट की है। लेकिन उन्होंने कुछ वहां पर जो कलेक्टर था उससे बात सांठ-गांठ कर ली थी और कुछ पोर्शन लेके चले गए थे, और कुछ पोर्शन इंडिया में रह गया था और वो फिर इंडियन म्यूजियम में चला गया था, इंडियन म्यूजियम में रखा था। और ये जूल्स पेपे के पास रहे, पेपे के लड़के के पास रहे, फिर वहां से वो आर्ट मार्केट में आ गए, सौदबी में, हांगकांग के सौदबी में पहुंचे वो, और उनको दिखाया भी गया था कई जगह पर उन जूल्स को। ये सारी कहानी आपको वहां पर सुनने को मिलेगी। तो वो रिपैट्रिएट कराए गए भारत सरकार की दखल अंदाजी से, और बहुत ही जनरस एफर्ट्स ऑफ गोदरेज, जिन्होंने उनको वहां से सौदबी के ऑक्शन हाउस से खरीद लिया। और वो अब गोदरेज ने भारत सरकार को 5 साल के लिए यह दर्शन हेतु सबको दिया है, तो वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से वहाँ रखे हैं। और साथ में जो इंडियन म्यूजियम में जो स्टोरेज में रखे थे उनको भी वहाँ पर हम लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा डिस्प्ले किया है। तो वो आप अगर पिपरवा के देखेंगे जाके तो आपको, और साथ में उन्होंने सुंदर संकीशा की कामिरेकल ये कहानियां हैं जिसमें एक मंकी उनको हनी ऑफर कर रहा है, और वो फिर जैसे ही हनी ऑफर करता है उसके बाद मंकी तो फिर चले जाते हैं ऊपर, बिल्कुल। तो इस तरीके की कहानियां भी आपको जो बहुत सुंदर, मतलब जातकाज जो है वो सब आपको वहाँ पर सुनने को मजा आएगा। देख के आइए आप उस एग्जीबिशन को, इसके एक्सटेंशन में बहुत ही बढ़िया है। एक क्वेश्चन आप पूछ रहे थे।
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू सर फॉर वंडरफुल इंफॉर्मेशन। Sir, ma'am, my question was a comparison with the stupa at Sarnath and with the संकेसा। सो मैम, हम जब देखते हैं कि अभी जो प्रेजेंटली जो संकेसा में स्तूपा जो है वो मैम वो अभी थोड़ा सा अगर सारनाथ पे देखते हैं सो इट इज़ कंप्लीट, उसमें वहाँ पे गेट भी है, वी कैन डू परिक्रमा एंड सो मैम क्या वहाँ पे हिस्ट्री में मतलब किसी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे क्या वहाँ पे भी एक फुल फ्लेश्ड ऐसा था कि वहाँ पे हम जो राजा महाराजा जो अशोक थे एंड द मंक्स हु कैन enter through the gate and was there a full-fledged stupa and
do we have the PPT there? I have a research picture, I mean the research drawing by the British officer at that point of time. It is there, you can see it was there, and if you go you can see the full-fledged stupa. You go further in the village, you have more remains. Sankesa is a subject of research and protection also, I would say. Yeah. There is more to it, and if you read the text of that, I mean Pali text, when you read, you will find all the connection, like the name of the river, name of the region. Okay, I went to the site with that. So first I would like to say this, I mean, see Amravati, so you will understand. Like Amravati drawing is like this, you can see? Yeah. Yes, they are called Amravati marbles. सर अभी तो यूके में भी हैं अमरावती मार्बल्स, रिपैट्रिएशन उनका भी होना है. Trying to go to Sankesa. So Sankesa was a big site because the minute you see the elephant capital you will understand. Okay, now this is the pillar from Lumbini. Okay, now imagine a capital being here. अब आपको संकीसा का कैपिटल दिखाते हैं. ये पेपरवा जिसकी सर बात कर रहे थे. This you will see in the Kilarai Pithora, and this is the scale of the stupa. You can see it here. The same scale you will find in Ramagrama and our side, I mean Sankesa also. Yeh scale. Sankesa also has a similar scale. You can see this. You can see the curve. You see the curve. It will go till here. Yeah. To be very honest, it's a site under court right now. There are different claims on this site. So for me, it was very difficult to even do parikrama. It was very difficult. And this I am talking about at least 4 or 5 years back when I went. I don't know the status right now. So you see this drawing. You can see this Killa mound. They say Killa mound. Okay. Bisari Devi. So it is believed that, whoever prays here, all the poisons will go. Whether we are talking about mental defilement or physical poison is another question. But then the term Bisari Devi came over a period of time when the officer would have visited this area, his team would have gone there. Okay, so I'll show you now the capital. Yeah, here you see the capital, the scale of the capital, like this big elephant you have. So if this capital is made by Ashoka here, Emperor Ashoka, do you think the site would just have a stupa? It would be much more than that. And then if you go to the village, till date you find big size bricks, that I mean in Telangana we call Satvana period brick, but here you have Gupta Mauryan period bricks, sir, bada wala brick. It is like more than 6 inches, like 8-10 inches brick. Big brick you will find in the village. I don't have those pictures. Now here, this is also from the, I think Ashokan Brahmi inscription is here. You can read about it. There is a book which is written. You go to Gazetteers. If you want to read about Sankesa, go to District Gazetteer. And you will find the British period UP Gazetteer. There you will have all the descriptions about Sankesa. Yep. Thank you.
And one more question. जैसे कि I have personally went to Sankesa for the stupa.
जी.
And on the top of the stupa, there is a small mandir. But for we Buddhist, it is like very up.
I mean, it's sin to walk on the stupa, yes, right? Yeah. But to experience what right or wrong is secondary. Whatever is happening, you also have to climb the stupa to see the fact. To experience whether it stands as a stupa or not by saying sorry first. I have done that. Thank you.
हेलो मैम. हेलो सर. मैम मनते ज्ञान रखे. मैं हिंदी में ही प्रश्न करूँगा.
जी बनते.
सर, आपने मैम फनगिरी का नाम लिया और शो भी किया उसके बारे में. और आपने ये भी बताया कि फनगिरी नाम क्यों पड़ा है, और क्योंकि वो डिजाइन की वजह से। तो मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि एक तो जो फनगिरी का डिजाइन है हमको प्रकृति के अनुसार मिला है
जी,
ना कि किसी कारण मिला है कि वो जो डिजाइन है
जी।
हमको ऐसा मिला है। लेकिन हम जब आर्किटेक्ट और आर्कोलॉजी की बात करते हैं और बुद्धिज़्म को ऐड करते हैं
जी,
तो उसमें हम किसी अतिशयोक्ति, किसी शक्ति की बात नहीं करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि इट्स अ हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज़ द ओरिजिनल इंक्लूड प्रकृति। अगर हम किसी शक्ति, किसी चीज़ को हम आर्किटेक्ट्स द्वारा उसको ऐड करेंगे तो कोई और बात बनेगी। किसी और रिलीजन, किसी और धर्म समुदाय के लोग उस पर ब्लेम करेंगे कि आपके धर्म में, आपके समुदाय में ये भी बातें होती है, आपके कारण होती है। अगर ऐसा हम क्लेम करते हैं कि किसी कारण हमको डिज़ाइन मिला है, किसी शक्ति के कारण मिला है, तो
नहीं सर, मैंने नहीं कहा। मैंने ये कहा कि अगर आप गूगल पे देखते हैं तब भी आपको स्नेक की ही दृष्टि दिखेगी, और आप ऐसा, मतलब आपको ऐसा लगता है
नेचुरल वो है फॉर्मेशन,
नेचुरल फॉर्मेशन।
आई नो दिस इज अ नेचुरल, बट किसी को हमको सोचना नहीं चाहिए कि किसी कारण और हमको क्योंकि वहाँ का नाम फनगिरी है तो वैसा डिजाइन
नहीं।
दो रीजन बोले इन्होंने कहा कि एक तो फनीगिरी जो कहा जा रहा है कि उसका जो शेप है वो सांप के फन जैसी है, इसलिए उसका नाम फनीगिरी पड़ गया।
हाँ।
दूसरा इन्होंने जो बताया कि जो बुद्ध का जो टर्बन, बुद्ध भगवान का जो टर्बन है वो जो है वो पगड़ी से वो फनगिरी बनाए, इन्होंने बनाया है। क्योंकि वो जो ये बता रही हैं वो एक बहुत ही सुंदर पीस है मार्बल में, और वो उस पीस में क्या खासियत ये है, आप उसमें एक स्टोरी दिख रही है आपको उस पीस के अंदर कि जब बुद्ध, इन्होंने बताया ग्रेट डिपार्चर जब हो रहा है, बुद्ध भगवान जा रहे हैं तो वो अपने सारे राजसी कपड़े अपने उतार रहे हैं और वो अपना थ्रोन भी जमीन पर फेंकते हैं तो जमीन पे गिरता नहीं है वो।
तो ये देखिए, ये थ्रोन है बेसिकली, जो मतलब मुकुट है।
तो
ये देखिए मुकुट की
अपने आप ही ऊपर उड़ता 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 ऊपर पहुंचते हुए 33वें हेवन पे पहुंच जाता है, जहां पर उसको जो बाकी जो लोक में जो हैं सब वो उसको संभाल के रखते हैं। ये इसमें ये स्टोरी है। जनरली टर्बन के अंदर कोई जो बता रही थी अभी मैम की, यहाँ पर एक लेक्चर हुआ था, उसमें भी आप किताब में भी देखेंगे, नमन आहूजा की मार्ग पब्लिकेशन से निकली हुई है, जिसमें वो बताते हैं कि टर्बन के अंदर जनरली कोई ना कोई सेमी प्रेशियस स्टोन होता है। ये एक यूनिक पीस है फनीगिरी का जिसके अंदर स्टोरी है।
And second one, somebody have told to Ramagram is in Nepal.
जी, Ramagram is in
And
Nepal.
you say yes. Last year I went Ramagram, and it is in गोरखपुर नियर।
वो मैं वही बता रही हूँ कि बॉर्डर अभी बने हैं, एक रामाग्राम और भी है। मैंने जो दिखाया वो नेपाल का रामाग्राम है।
ओके,
यस, यू वांट टू सी इट अगेन? थोड़ा पीछे जाना पड़ेगा।
व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस इन, मतलब क्या है इंडिया में जो रामाग्राम है और
देखिए, उसका एक बहुत सिंपल सा रूल है, मैं आपको इनफॉर्मली बताती हूँ। आपके ग्रैंडफादर आपके फादर को कुछ जमीन देके गए, आपके फादर भी थे और उनके भाई भी थे। फिर जब आपके आते आते आपके चचेरे भाई हो गए, ये फैमिली वो फैमिली, तो आप बोल देंगे कि हमारी है, वो भी बोलेंगे हमारी है। पर अगर आप मिलके बोलेंगे तो हाँ हमारी है। बट देन इफ यू वांट टू ड्रॉ बॉर्डर्स, सो this is what I use the word, Bhante ji already said that
लेकिन
हम ये नहीं कह रहे कि बुद्धा खुद सब जगह गए, ठीक है, लेकिन कई जगह, जैसे भंते जी ने कहा कि आचार्य नागार्जुन का काम है, इसलिए हमने नागार्जुन कोटा की बात करी। हाँ, तो महाराजगंज में है, एक जगह है। इनफैक्ट हमने महामाया माता का भी गांव देखा, क्योंकि हम वहां पर थे, नेपाल में थे। पर मेरा ये ड्यूटी बनती थी कि जो हमारे क्षेत्र में वो भी देखा जाए, तो मैंने हमारे मित्र पीछे बैठे उनसे ऑलरेडी मदद लेके गोरखपुर की साइट्स एक्सप्लोर करी। पिपरवा भी इसीलिए गई थी।
एक कंक्लूडिंग कमेंट कर दूं। एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, 1 मिनट में आप जवाब दीजिएगा, क्योंकि शायद हॉल का भी हमें खाली करना है टाइम सिर पर।
मैम, थैंक यू फॉर द लेक्चर।
एक उनसे पहले क्वेश्चन लेने फिर लेंगे।
Thank you for the lecture, ma'am. I hope you might have come across, there is a book called Tirupati Balaji was a Buddhist shrine by
I read
K.
about
Jamna
it.
Das.
Yeah.
Being a conservation architect, even you might have visited Tirupati also.
I have not.
Okay.
Till date I have not.
Even where you mentioned in the presentation,
Ji.
like there is Vishnu Padas.
Ji, Vishnu Padas. Yes.
Even in Tirupati also there are
Ji. Ji.
Padas.
Ji.
Like that's what I want to know your comment, or like how do you consider whether you both how do you treat the book name Tirupati Balaji was a Buddhist
मैंने
shrine.
बुक पढ़ी नहीं है।
बालाजी मैं पर्सनली नहीं गई, तो आपने बोला कि आप कैसे डिसाइड करते हैं, तो सिर्फ पाद से तो सर नहीं डिसाइड करते, बहुत सारी चीजें उसके अलावा भी रहती। बताएं सर।
कौन सी साइट से पाद मिले हैं, अगर वो बुद्ध विहार से पाद मिले हैं तो वो बुद्ध पाद कहलाएंगे, और अगर वो किसी विष्णु टेम्पल से अगर वो पाद मिले हैं तो वो विष्णु पाद कहलाएंगे। ये तो लेकिन एक आपने एक से he wants to ask. Okay.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Madhu ji, for passionately explaining your presentation. So my question is, when we talk about Buddhist heritage, I think Tibet and Himalayan region plays a very important role. So have you ever got chance to visit Tibet? If not, any Himalayan region like Ladakh, I think these plays a very important role in terms of heritage.
I myself belong to Tarai region, which is border of India and UP, you can say. पहले उत्तराखंड और UP साथ में थे, but I'm originally from UP. तो जो मेरा इंटरेस्ट था वही मैंने आपको दिखाया. इनफैक्ट पिपरवा और कपिलवस्तु जो नेपाल का हिस्सा है वो भी मैंने देखा है. बट टिपिकल जो आपने बोला हिमाचल और हिमालय, मैं वहां तक नहीं गई, क्षमा चाहती हूँ. थैंक यू.
कुछ क्वेश्चन है स्पेसिफिक उससे हिमालयन रीजन बुद्धिज्म से कोई आपका?
As far as our Theravada Buddhism is concerned, especially Tibet, Himalayan regions. So in the presentation, there is not much regarding this. So I was just curious whether you have visited or examined regarding these artifacts or not.
1 hour is too less. I think we can have another lecture on the same thing for younger generation. And with last question, 30 seconds, Neil, please.
सर आपने पिपरावा का जिक्र किया, पिपरावा लिरिक्स का जिक्र किया. एक तो हम उसके लिए बहुत ऑनर्ड फील करते हैं कि हमारे देश में वापस आया, और वहीं दूसरा चीज़ हमने कल परसों 2 दिन पहले ही गया था वहाँ पे, तो इंटर करते ही वहाँ पे देखा एक चीज़ जिसका इनॉग्रेशन हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने किया था. एक कॉइन था, उन्होंने वहाँ पे रख के किया था, और कॉइन्स पे कुछ लिखा हुआ था, तो उसका मैंने फ़ोटो भी खींचा था. उस पे लिखा था ओम देवपुत्र विहारे कपिलवस्तु भिक्खु संघस्य. तो मैं ये क्वेश्चन करना चाहता हूँ कि उस पे जो लिखा था वो तो हम नहीं देख पा रहे हैं, लेकिन ओम देवपुत्र, ओम इसमें लिखा हुआ है, और ओम का जो ये ब्रह्मी लिपि है, डायरेक्ट ब्रह्मी लिपि तो हम देख रहे हैं, लेकिन ओम डायरेक्ट हम देख रहे हैं कि ओम भी है उसमें. और हम ये भी पढ़ते हैं कि इन दैट टाइम हैव वी नॉट फाउंड द ओम शब्द.
इसके लिए ना शायद ये भी जवाब नहीं दे पाएंगे
सर, आपसे था.
मैं भी जवाब दे पाऊंगा. इसके लिए मैं आपको मेरे से आप नंबर ले लीजिएगा. इस एग्जीबिशन की जो क्यूरेटर हैं और वो तिब्बत हाउस से भी कनेक्टेड हैं, अबीरा भट्टाचार्य. आप उनसे डॉक्टर अबीरा भट्टाचार्य, उन्होंने क्यूरेट.
मैं वहाँ भी क्वेश्चन किया था, लोगों ने कहा कि नहीं.
तो हम लोग दोनों असमर्थ हैं आपके क्वेश्चंस का जवाब देने के लिए. ये वाला हम असमर्थ हैं बिल्कुल. अच्छा, अब एक मैं अपने कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स देना चाहूँगा एज ए चेयर पर्सन ऑफ दिस सेशन. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर रियली, एज आई टोल्ड दैट in a very short span of time you took us from different places and showed what is there in Telangana, and how Buddhism reached in the southern part of India, with the help of Bavri Rishi, Bavri ji, who sent his disciples to Sakyamuni, and there was an exchange of knowledge, and they brought Buddhism to Telangana or Andhra Desa and all. And from there, you see that there is a big development of evolution of Buddhism and architecture of Buddhism, of which the Phanigiri has become like a zenith, like the pinnacle of it. So this way of the way you have taught us was really like an art educator, and with your beautiful drawings. If you teach children about 16 Janpada, which existed in 600 BC through this map, the things become very easy. I think it can be taught even at a level of 6th class or 7th class, and as this this girl was asking about that why we can't talk Buddhism and Hinduism or other religions together is very well taken. I think you should keep it in mind whenever you're talking of a Hindu side. Don't forget adding
of course,
Buddhist also.
Yes, sir.
And the lecture was very good, and I congratulate Tibet House for really initiating such a talk and his lecture series, and hopefully you will look after the interest of the Himalayan Buddhism in your coming lecture series, so that we don't get disappointed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
You may please sit down. Well, I would like to say it was really an interesting and a very enriching discussion we had today. And obviously, as the topic itself mentioned, the takeaways for the younger generation, I think we have successfully got the very achievement. We have successfully achieved the very objective of this very special lecture, which especially after having a very insightful discussion with Mrs. Madhu Warfiji since 1 month for this very special lecture. So she was very interested that the youths are the one who should really take away from this very special lecture and the very insightful knowledge which he has experienced. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And I would also like to thank our esteemed chairperson, Dr. Anshul Pandya ji, for chairing this session in such a wonderful way and channelizing the very ambience of this very special lecture. Well, thank you very much, sir. And I would also like to thank Mrs. Madhu Watri ji also for her lovely presentation. And with this, we have come to the conclusion of this very special lecture. And I would also like to thank all our participants for your very interest and also taking active participation and making this special lecture successful one, I would say. Well, thank you very much. And lastly, I would like to inform you that, again, like I said before, that we have the new registration coming up for the Nalanda Diploma Course Batch 6, which will start on 8 February 2026 with 100% scholarship for monastics and 75% for students, and the course will commence by 15 March 2026 with 5 different translations in Russian, French, Ladakhi, Hebrew, and Mandarin. And I would also like to mention that we have an upcoming 31st batch of Tibetan language course also, which is provided by the Tibet House, New Delhi, and the registration will start in the month of April 2026. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participants. At the same time, I would also like to thank our Secretary, Mr. Tenzin Kunjabla, and our dear colleagues who has made this wonderful effort to make this very special lecture a successful one today. And I would also like to thank our director, Venerable Geshe Dorje Damdula, for giving us this very opportunity to make this very event happen. With this, thank you very much, everyone. And if you want further information about Tibet House and its various activities and programs, please do check our website on www.tibethouse.in. And for the publication, like I said before in the presentation, You can go for publications at tibethouse.in, and for information about the programs and events, it is programs at tibethouse.in, and for the Nalanda courses which we have, it is Nalanda courses at tibethouse.in. Well, thank you very much. It was a lovely session. Thank you all. May I request all the participants to kindly come on stage. We will have a quick group photo before we leave this hall today. Thank you. I would like to invite all the participants on stage.